This short video is intended to be a preview of ETS's Praxis Core Academic Skills for Educator tests. The purpose is to provide an overview of the Praxis Core and provide a brief summary of each section, mathematics, reading, and writing, and give you an idea of the landscape of each test. Finally, we'll provide information about where to find additional resources to help you prepare for the Praxis Core and what UMF has to offer for support. Keep in mind that test numbers are important as they are the current core exams accepted by the state at this time. Why do you have to take the Praxis Core? First, the Praxis Core is used by many states, including Maine, to determine teacher candidates' aptitudes in math, reading, and writing. And passing scores are required by UMF's teacher education programs in order for students to enroll in practicum. Finally, the passing scores are determined by the Maine Department of Education's requirements for teacher licensure. So let's look at each of the different tests. First, we'll look at math. The Praxis Math section emphasizes concepts you learned from middle school through high school and includes concepts from geometry, algebra and functions, number and quantity, and statistics and probability. There are 56 questions over 85 minutes. Most are standard multiple choice with a single answer. Some are multiple choice with multiple answers, requiring that you indicate all the correct answers to get credit. Finally, there are some numerical entry questions which require you to enter a number to answer the question. The four content categories are broken up as such. Number and quantity focuses on numbers, the various ways they can be represented, place value, properties of whole numbers, operations, and ratios and proportions. Algebra assesses skills in solving equations and inequalities, problem-solving skills, relationships between verbal and symbolic expressions, graphs, and concepts around functions, including domain and range. Geometry measures understandings of properties regarding geometric shapes, the Pythagorean theorem, transformations of shapes, similarity and congruence, area and volume, and measurement. Finally, statistics and probability assess the ability to read graphs and charts, draw inferences from data, determine central tendencies such as mean, median, and mode, and find probabilities for specific outcomes. You cannot bring your own calculator to the test. An on-screen calculator, though, is provided, which includes 4 functions, a square root key, decimals, and plus-minus keys. There is a transfer display button which allows you to answer a question and have it be inputted to the answer box in the question. The reading section tests your ability to understand, analyze, and evaluate texts of different kinds. The goal of the test is to assess your overall proficiency in several key reading skills, such as building inferences from the text, understanding themes, and describing the organization and structure of selected readings. The texts come from a variety of subject areas, followed by questions based on the content. And all questions can be answered using information from the passage. No outside knowledge is required. There are 56 selected response questions spanning 85 minutes. Paired passages totaling about 200 words are followed by 4 to 7 questions. Long passages are also followed by 4 to 7 questions, and short passages by 2 or 3. Finally, there are brief statements followed by a single question. The content is broken up into 3 categories. Key ideas and details questions ask for explanations of the main ideas and how they lead to inferences and conclusions. Structure and language skill questions focus on understanding the craft of writing. These questions target how specific areas of the passage relate to the author's purpose and argument, including the use of specific words, figurative language, and transitions. The final category, integrating knowledge and skills, requires the other 2 categories. Questions require you assess the text, compare multiple passages, or examine other kinds of text such as visual media. The purpose of the writing section is to measure the individual's ability to use standard written English correctly and effectively. It tests the individual's ability to edit written text, develop and write clear and coherent essays, understand grammatical and structural relationships, and use appropriate research skills and strategies. The landscape of the written section is that there are 3 sections spanning 100 minutes. There is a 40-minute selected response section and 2 30-minute essay sections. The selected response sections are broken up into 4 content categories: usage, sentence correction, revision in context, and questions regarding basic research skills. Usage focuses on recognizing errors in mechanics, structural and grammar relationships, including subject-verb agreement, pronoun and antecedent agreement, and proper use of modifiers. Sentence correction requires selecting from the choices provided to restate phrases and sentences using standard English and knowledge of standard grammar terminology. Revision in context requires the reader to consider organization, word choice, style, tone, and conventions of written English. Finally, research skill questions address the types of sources, evaluating the quality of the source, and strategies for researching a topic and organizing a paper. The 2 essays are broken up into argumentative essays, which ask you to write about a specific topic, and evidence-based essays, where you are provided 2 short passages to read and then use for sources. Both essays provide opportunities for you to demonstrate how well you write and your understanding of conventions of standard written English. One note on navigation: the Praxis allows you to mark a question to revisit. That means you can answer a question, but if you have doubts, it reminds you to return for a second look. If you can't answer a question, you can mark it as a reminder to return, both by clicking the Mark button at the top of the screen. You can click on the Review button and you can see a screen with questions that you marked to return. You can then select a question and go back to it. UMF has several resources that are available to you to help you prepare. The Learning Assistance Center and the Learning Commons have tutors available to help you prepare, so contact Pete St. John at the email provided to get connected with a tutor. There will also be additional short videos with test-taking strategies available at this site soon. Finally, there are several online resources that are available. One is provided by ETS themselves, with links to Khan Academy free resources that have been designed to help you prepare, as well as information about the tests themselves, detailed PDFs with practice questions, and then there are other resources available that are there for a fee. Teachers Test Prep also allows you to access free resources, but you have to set up an account. But there are lots of practice problems and lots of support. Finally, Study Guide Zone provides a number of free practice questions for each Praxis core exam and is created by Mometrics, a test prep company, and there are also other resources there that are provided for a fee. If you have any questions, make sure you get in touch with your faculty at the University of Maine at Farmington.